Okay.
Hey, the light didn't change this
That's
time.
a little better.
We're live. We're not. We're live. We can't ever get this camera to work right.
You know what I just realized?
What?
I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore last week. I do have other shirts.
I'm promoting a video game. My PSN name is Slybug. Nice hat.
Thanks. I've had this since I was like 14. I love it. I love Care Bears. I am so nervous to talk about this.
Why?
I'm literally almost sick to my stomach to talk about this.
I think you're just scared about what I'm going to say.
am.
And
You
you
are-
don't have a muzzle on me.
You're just, I don't know I don't know what you're going to say.
All right.
And I don't want to get calls on it. Call him next time.
Yeah.
If you really have complaints, please call him.
You can, sure.
I'm the
Because those of
poster
you
girl.
that know me, that's going to work well.
Yeah. No,
I just made myself sound like a jerk. I'm a really, really nice man.
Yes, I'm still nervous.
I'll do all the talking.
Okay, I'll jump in.
All right. So we're going to talk about sex. Okay, I'm sorry. It. Is that better if I say it? Well, that's just too much work. Sex. I was reading in the article the other day, and we'll post it in the notes, Time Magazine and NPR, so valued, trusted sources.
Unless you're a conservative. Just kidding. Sure they are.
Yeah, they both did an article on how to have a happier marriage, and they said, well, sex. Having sex once a week makes you and your spouse happy. And they
I think
said,
everybody wants to know that. How much is enough? What is normal?
Literally.
Isn't that always like the question? I get asked that a lot. I think we're always wondering, what's normal?
every other day is normal. No, they actually said they did 33,000 couples over a couple of years, just stating how much sex they had, and it came out to be just once a week equals the optimum amount of happiness that you're going to get out of having sex. Yes, you can have sex more than once a week, but literally,
We wouldn't have it less.
you're not
Try
going to
not
get
to have it
happier
less.
having more sex. It doesn't equate that way. Like having more money doesn't make you happier. There is
Having less makes you a little sad.
Having less makes you sad, but having just enough is the perfect realm. And just enough, honestly, is once a week.
But that's kind of the norm. It doesn't have to be for you, but I would say minimum, honestly minimum, because that's only about 50 times a year. For a married couple, that's really not a whole lot. But we are always about finding the tools that work for you. And I want to say that I don't want any of you guys to think we're like sex-crazed maniacs, but this is an
totally am.
important topic that nobody's talking about. It's huge. And there are times in our life where sex is not going to be on the table as often. There's people that, some good friends of ours, the wife was in the hospital for 3 months. That's not the time to try to fit in sex every week. Do you know what I'm saying? But you need to build your relationship in a good foundation to withstand things like that. If there's a death in the family, if there's grieving, there's another couple I know that she's caring for her mother a few states away for several weeks or months at a time. It's just not possible to do that. And there are times where you have to have a strong enough marriage to maintain those times. I'm so nervous talking about this, but it's so important.
Yeah.
I really think this is really important. And we've talked to a lot of couples that this is very common, where he's always asking, always asking, always asking. She's either got the kids or doesn't feel like, or I have a headache, or I'm already doing everything else in the entire world today. I can't do you too. And then, honestly, you know that that's the truth.
Why are you pointing
And
at me through the camera?
I'm not. I'm
Okay.
pointing at, because I know that that's the thing. And then what happens to the guys? They just feel like, well, I'm just one more thing on her to-do list to get done. And I'm a chore. And this is just her wifely duty.
And then
How
we
does
start
that-
normally just turning to other things to satisfy that
that's not what you
physical
want.
need. What you really want is you really want a connection with one another. That sex is the byproduct of intimacy. And sometimes we get a little twisted and think that sex is intimacy, but it is the byproduct. So if you are not having sex once a week, my first question is, how intimate are you being with each other during the week?
Are you, are you loving and
Are you
cuddling
touching
and
each other? Are
touching
you,
on the couch?
If you're fondling your phone more than your wife, that is a problem. If you're fondling your phone more than your husband, that is a problem.
That's good.
When's the last time you actually just looked at each other and said, I love you, and I like it when you kiss the back of my neck? Just stuff like that. You did it when you first got married.
You can keep your hands off each other.
Right. And why is it now that you've beaten desire out of each other?
Now that it's a chore, it's not fun. How does that make your spouse feel? It's usually the man and the woman, but what if it was the other way around, where I'm always asking, and he just thinks, well, you're just fine, I'll just get this done. That would make me feel about this big. I love this person a lot, and I don't want them to feel that way.
And I'm pretty tall, and I don't like feeling that big.
No, but it's also, we've heard, he asks, so much so that he's like, why bother asking anymore? I just get turned down. I just get rejected. And then when she finally turns around and goes, well, let's have sex, it's usually at a really inopportune time for him. And he's like, well, now
I just worked 18 hours.
And she's like, see, you don't even want to have sex when I do want to have sex. And it's like that's a no-win situation. And so we've talked about scheduling sex, schedule it once a week so that Friday night is your night, or Saturday morning, or...
I know what you're thinking. When somebody says schedule sex, the first thing you go, well, it's not going to be spontaneous.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not having sex once a week now, it's not spontaneous. It's kind of a drag, and you just kind of do it to get out of the way to move on. But if you schedule it once a week, you could schedule it around a date night, actually build the intimacy so that you'll both want to end the date night with the byproduct of intimacy, which is sex.
And fine, you need to know what your spouse's love language is. If she really likes service, that would be me. I love acts of service. Then he's cleaning the house. He's getting the kids in bed. He is vacuuming. He's cleaning up the kitchen. Oh yeah, he's working that. And I know that his is physical touch. So just throughout the day, it doesn't even have to be sexual touch. I'm kissing on him, loving on him, giving him a hug in the kitchen at lunchtime.
She licked me in the face the other day. It was really weird.
Yeah, whatever. But these are the things that build up to that. And
so, homework. If you're the wife or the husband watching this video, go to your spouse and say, hey, we're going to have sex once a week.
Put it on the calendar.
Put it on the calendar. Pick a day. What day is good for you for us to do the nookie? Great. If you would like to advance further than that, then you can go, hey, so if every day is Friday, this Friday, husband, it's your deal to take care of the kids, take care of the household, and we're going to go out on a date, and you're going to woo me. And then the next Friday, it's my turn to do it to you. So you get sex the way that you want it, and then she gets sex the way that she wants it. I would say on the other thing, if you're doing it once a week, make sure that you both complete. Have the conversation. This is a big conversation to have. This is how you can help me complete with you.
See, and now you've just embarrassed me.
No,
now you've said the thing that...
But I don't mean to, but it's really important because men feel closer together after the fact, and women feel closer together after the fact. So it'd be great if you guys would complete one another, Jerry Maguire, and go from there. But you have to have the conversation. You guys have to work it out at least once a week. Be happy.
And I do want to say this. As a Christian couple, maybe this is the part that I need to say that I'm really uncomfortable saying. As a Christian couple, we feel like God created sex and that He's there with us. And if He created this, and it is meant to be, and it is a blessing in a marriage, then He would want that intimacy, and He'd want that arousal. And sometimes if I'm just not feeling it, and I know that I need to connect with my husband, I will pray. God, please give me the interest. I need something from you. It totally works. It works because it is the will of God. It is good. It is a beautiful thing. It's not a bad thing. And I've literally prayed. I've prayed in the middle. I've prayed beforehand. And I am thankful afterwards.
I am thankful afterwards every single time. And honestly, I've prayed during sex too. It's really hard for me to. I think most women are multi-brained, so they could do that.
Multi-brained.
It's really hard for men to.
Several brains in there.
Yeah, men to pray during sex. But God is in your bedroom while you're actually doing it. He was there with Adam
really
and Eve.
That's really going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. But it is true.
It is. He's, you know what I mean. He's in the bathroom with you.
Yeah.
He's the one that made
He's
you. He knows you inside out.
He lives in your heart.
Right. So if you know that, then you can ask for help. Please, help me, help my wife complete. I don't know what to do, and have the conversation. And all of this really boils down to having really in-depth conversation about your guys' sex life.
Yeah.
How much do you want to have sex? What kind of sex would you like to have? How would you want to be wooed? What is your love language? You have to have these conversations to have a successful, intimate love life. 90% of what we say every single week is talking. Communication. So go out on a date and go, hey, we're going to have sex once a week. What day is good for you? This one fits on my calendar too. And these are the things that we would like to do.
Compromise and find something that works for both of you.
Yeah.
You can't be just like, I want all of these things every single week. Okay, well, that doesn't really work for me. So can we find
That's why
the
I switched
balance?
to his and her so that so it's different. And men like to feel desired. So I love it when Tammy rushes in the room and says, I'm right here.
How often do I do that?
Hey, I put a PG thing on that. All right, so and that makes me feel like, wow, my wife really wants me. And if you never do that for your husband, and he's always the one pursuing, then it
causes resentment and
it's just work. I've talked to a lot of husbands who are like, I just don't want to put the work in to have sex. And I'm like, why does it feel like work? Because you're the one constantly pursuing.
Yeah.
So if you swap weeks to where she could do it one week and you could do it the next week, perfect. Then everyone feels desired, everyone feels love, and everyone gets happy. I feel happy. Okay.
Happy wife, happy husband, happy life.
Right.
Both.
So we are going to do 7 days of sex. Starting April 3rd. I was going to start at April 1st and go,
just kidding.
Yeah, no.
Hey, boo-boo.
Starting April 3rd.
April 3rd, Monday.
We would like you to private message us that you are going to join us in 7 days of sex, and we will do a quick little video every single day for that week.
We will?
Yep.
Oh.
It'll be fun.
That's a lot of work.
Nah, it takes like 10 minutes. All right.
Sex.
We love you. Schedule sex. Go out on dates. Have fun.
Yes.
And get happy.
And I didn't cry this time.
Awesome.